You know, the thing I really um, find that is most appealing about Gordon, I was told initially by John Stone when I was being hired for the role that the qualities that they were looking for were um, those of a nurturing but also a very strong male presence. You know, someone who could be a model of the kind of fatherhood that I think modern society kind of looks for. The guy who's not afraid to be sensitive, you know, and relate to children in a way that's really gentle, kind, considerate, patient, extremely patient guy, more so than I am actually. But he's someone who I think embodies a kind of real pillar of strength, I guess. And people come to Gordon for help when they need it. Because he's just always reliable. Just to you know. And as an African American actor and a character, that really stands out, especially in the history of the images of black men on television. When I was growing up, of course, as I said earlier, the Amos and Andy show was a big favorite of ours, but there was never a character like Gordon on those shows. I guess the first actor to consistently have that type of persona was Bill Cosby on television in his earlier shows, as well as the Cosby Show, which all of those shows and earlier experiences led to that persona. But before him, there weren't black male characters in particular who had that kind of, someone who was, obviously intelligent and educated, but also funny and personable, and could hang with the kids, and and be just a regular dad, but also really be comfortable in his own kind of vulnerability, I guess. And some of my favorite things as Gordon, especially early on, were some of the songs that were written for me, because I do sing, and I love to sing. And there were some really wonderful ballads that I got a chance to sing that were done, about sensitivity and about just loving each other and things like that, which men in general still have difficulty expressing, to a large extent. But Gordon has always been a guy who, as well as Bob and other characters on the show, but could relate to those kinds of feelings and issues. We want to convey a sense of reality and truth to some extent. It's okay for Gordon to become angry, to become upset, but only to a certain limit. I mean, for Gordon to really become, just totally really lose it and become, although it could be funny, unless it's really being made into kind of a funny thing, but to really become, and I guess it's true with any of the characters on Sesame Street, for any of us to cross that line where we become, questionable in character, as far as, our intentions. I mean, we really have to personify the best in people. I think in terms of how we relate to each other, and especially how we relate to the kids. That we really do take the time to listen to them and to help them solve whatever problems they have. Yeah. But yeah, I think I've learned some things, from Gordon, by playing Gordon. As the father of 4 children, I really was able to use a lot of, what I was called upon to do as this father figure on the show in my own, life at home with my own kids. And of course, my own kids have all had the luxury of, getting to know the behind the scenes, aspect of Sesame Street. They've all been on the show. And of course, my son was a regular on the show for a number of years, and that helped to establish some of who he is, just having had that experience.